And last but not least, we're going to be taking a look at the Godzilla 64, which is going to be based off the Mothra vs. Godzilla design. So we're going to be, of course, taking a look. So starting off with the sculpt and paint for the face. Excuse me. Yeah, he looks pretty derpy. We got like the brows that are not brown this time, but we're actually going to get more of like a gray application, which again, I can't recall if it's accurate. I'm recalling it was more of a brown color, but this is still pretty good on its own. The kind of like gloss, it's like held back, but it still looks really well done on the eyes, especially. Like it's looking straight ahead, and then you look at it from the front, it's just like, "Oi." But it still looks really well done. And then we kind of get like more of the sculpted, painted details, which are not as defined as the 62, but still very much defined in its own right. In the inside of the mouth, we get like these pretty blood red gums. Like those are some really red gums. And as long with the individually sculpted teeth, which are painted like a bone yellow brown type color. It's almost like the same colors they did for the eyes, just with a lot more like what's the look I'm kind of waiting for? Wear down to it. There we go. And then we have the kind of like gray white dorsal plates that go down to the back, which we're actually just going to take a look at right now. The spines are not as big as the 62s because it's kind of accurate to the film. Proportionally, the 64 never really had the biggest of fins, but this is still really good. And I do like the way that they're very like, I don't want to say metallic, but they definitely have more of like a shinier finish to them as opposed to much more matte paint job. And it definitely looks the part. And as well as has like a charcoal center. And of course it looks really nice. It has like the 5 rows that are individually sculpted and painted very well. And going down to the torso here, we have like a bit of a spray for where that mid kind of section is. Right there, here, and here. So nice spray there. Nice sculpted details and paint with the kind of like mild dry brushing you get across the body, including like the arms here where you get like all the folds and ridges of detail. And we do have some nice claw paint. Not too bad here. Okay, there we go. The shadow made it look like it was not fully painted. But we do have some nice paint work here. Mine's got a little bit of nicks, but that's okay. And we do have some nice sculpted kind of like folds in the skin to make it look like a suit, except this is kind of where NECA chose to look more like an actual Godzilla rather than the suit. But we do get some more like the folds where it does look like a suit across the body there. So you get more like sculpted ridges and like all the various details with the scales, kind of like waving down and kind of coming back down here. Get like the little kneecap along with some more of the dry brushing. And then you can kind of get down here, which where we have the 3 toes that are pretty well sculpted. Huh. Wonder where that came from. Little tiny white speck. I don't know, probably just a piece of chalk. I just kind of wiggled it around and I'm feeling like something scrunching up against it, but whatever. Feet definitely look a little bit wider. Definitely kind of looks like Gorosaurus feet, which is ironic because I think, if I'm remembering chronologically, yeah, because Gorosaurus was 67, I believe. This was 64, so if anything, I should be saying that Gorosaurus kind of looks like Godzilla 64 feet. But still, spread out feet, nice application of gray here for the toenails. Definitely a bit more mellow detail compared to the body, but that's okay because they are feet. Bottom of the feet, more spread out kind of detailing, but more peg hole action. You kind of see more like the detail that kind of goes down. And then for the tail, we got like the various segmenting, all the detail that you find, along with some more mild dry brushing, which I wish some of the others had, but that's okay. And we do have, again, more like the individually lined fins of where there would be fins, I guess, on the tail, but it goes all the way down to the tip of the tail, which thankfully it is all the way painted. And as far as like the underside, not too much goes on because like this is when they started like detailing the undersides of Godzilla's tails. But this is actually still really good, and you have like a lot of ridges and stuff. Noticing a bunch of gunk because again, I don't take the figures off the shelves like every single day of my life. But overall, it's still really fun and still really well done as like an overall figure's concerned. So at least for Godzilla 64, it's not the most movie accurate sculpt and paint wise, but still really good. But for articulation, we have a ball joint here. Actually, no, we have a hinge here at the jaw, so you can close up, sorry, open up, close up. Having a little bit of trouble closing it just because, like, of the way the jaw's set up, because it kind of hits against the top teeth. So it doesn't really have a lot of clearance to really close in. But we do have a nice ball joint here at the base of the head, so we can go down, up, swivel, go all the way around and such. For this leg, for this neck joint, we can go down, kind of pair it up with this one, kind of go up, and kind of go side to side, so we got all the works. Let's go move down. We can go about up this far, down just about that far, and can swivel back and forth, all that good stuff. Ball joint, well, not ball joint, swivel hinge here at the elbow, so we can straighten up about that far, and about that far, can rotate, and can swivel hinge here at the wrist, and can hinge here at the fingers. No, cannot swivel like the 62's wrist can, because it's actually like engraved into the figure sculpt, not like a separate thing. We do have a nice ball joint here at the ab crunch, so we can swivel and kind of go rock back and forth a little bit. And unlike the 62, we can actually spread the legs out a little bit more, so we can get a decent spread. We can kick, actually, it's a bit of a tough kick. It's very tough movement even after all these years. I want to line that sucker up back properly. We can hinge the knee, just like that, and a ball joint here at the foot, and a couple ball joints. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 joints, so we can actually have it to where he can curl his tail up like a shrimp. Since there's not a 71, or was it 71? Yeah, 71 Godzilla, and then we can kind of make him fly. Which, speaking of which, he actually comes with his own breath effect, which is a modified GMK beam, which how you just stick it in has never been easier. You just literally just kind of slide it in, and there's supposed to be a tab that kind of clicks into the sculpt, but I'm not really feeling it. And you're supposed to just let it run. Let's actually just put him back to normal. Sorry, 71 Godzilla, but this is technically the wrong suit design anyway, so kind of like readjusting the whole figure as we go. But you're supposed to just press it in like that. I don't think I'm getting it on camera, but there you go. That's how the beam is supposed to look. Theoretically. Yeah, the fact that there's no like actual connection is just, this thing is kind of, there you go. I flipped it upside down. Not technically how it's supposed to go, but the beam itself, it's actually done really well. Kind of looks webby, almost like the Mothra, which is ironic. The Mothra larva spitting out the web. Again, kind of would have preferred a blue beam, but again, it's still done really well. But I feel like, again, the mouth connection just isn't where NECA really thought this through. And because of like all the promo pics showed it without the beam, kind of leads me to believe that the beam was like a last minute decision. So they just remolded the GMK beam and added this onto it and just kind of called it a day. So maybe the beam is not the best option, especially given the fact that he's looking up while the beam is shooting down. Maybe there's like a invisible Mothra larva, so he's shooting at that but looking up at the Mothra. I don't know, it's just kind of a guess to justify it. But really overall, I think the 64 is definitely up there as like one of my favorite of the NECA Godzillas. While definitely could have been executed a bit better in like some aspects, I think just overall, it's a very solid figure and definitely worth the purchase if you can find it for a good price.